Attention gamers. To those who know my content, you would know it's mainly about doing stupid stuff on the Rift, making fun of other players, and my personal favorite, complaining about Riot Games. But then there are people whose names I won't mention for ArgNoxville86's sake that fail to understand that League of Legends content isn't all about rank, while publicly discounting my videos because I haven't moved one elo point from silver, so I am apparently either deranking offline or just unable to climb. But one possible alternative theory to geniuses like this is that I haven't touched this game on my climb account in over a year, and on my main content account I've played less than 5 ranked games each split for the last 6 seasons, but I'm still chronically online, so 19 other people agreeing with this moronic cockwad was enough for me to decide to start a climb so I can feel validated. But this brings me to what I would like to call the graph of Leagueitis. When any naive player starts to play ranked League of Legends, their level of tilt over time starts down here, and that's where I was at this moment.
Bruh.
Well, actually right here. I already pictured how my first game would go. I would show how my comfort zone is on one of those big booby anime girls, and that any bronze ADC in my way would learn how it feels to get bullied by a babe. The weaponized shrimp tempura role of a support would be diffing their kitten with a little Hurricane Helene to engage with my ult. This gets me a double, and every time we have these cooldowns up we are more in sync than a 90s boy band. The bot diff that me and my mermaid have created will start attracting attention from haters around the Rift, but all of my actions will continue to prove that I could climb if I wanted to. I'm dreaming wetly of every encounter with an actual bronzy looking so one-sided that there is no doubt all those commenting Karens have to eat their own words, as I'm thinking of that one genius who watched me play against challenger players and concluded from that video that I don't even belong in silver, and to that I'm thinking all those silver players will have to be calling 911 in my presence, and this tyranny results in an easy ranked win and an updated position on the timeline of tilt to about here. But you see, League of Legends is a game where this graph will never maintain a healthy correlation. Unlike other games, it doesn't reward its players with building up account strengths, unboxing new things to collect, and progressing through harder achievements. Instead, League is a ticking time bomb of tilt, so the next game this is what happened. This one I figured I would count to 4 on repeat, and even though the first bit of action came from me getting an unwelcome visit from Dirty D herself, we were able to turn it around because my right clicks greater than sign the right clicks of anyone on the other team, and to be honest, this one was turning into just as much of a Smurf looking stomp fest as the first. But in League fashion, 5 minutes into the game my top dies for a second time and announces that she is done. This means that all of my efforts through the rest of the game, the sniping a windshitter mid, the absolute bullying of their mute support in lane, the willingness to invite our mid laner into my slaughter fest, the deep stomping of their bot lane would all be a waste because of the inting going on elsewhere on the Rift. Sure, I was doing all that I could, but our top gave up over 12 minutes ago and was just running touchdowns into them, doubling down that she already told us she was done, didn't care, and accepted the fact that she would be ruining the experience for all the other people involved. So despite the stomp, you don't just overcome one of your teammates identifying as a pinless ATM for the enemy team, which moved me to about here on the tilt timeline. The point where I was starting to fantasize about those other games, the ones that are owned by a company that rewards their players by offering a legendary champion for any new player who uses promo codes like Monkey King on their game. I didn't want a champ that is dying every time I look. I wanted a champ that was one of the strongest you can get and is just given to me as a reward for simply playing a free game. But I could recover. This time I would play an APC because more CC equals more GG, but also to piss off this guy specifically. And I did this by showing just how oppressive this Rift Ariana Grande can be early in lane by cow-tipping the Titanic. I'm the perfect pink-haired recipient of ganks when dealing with a meta following mouth breather. My executes were feeling juicy J Bubblicious on the Jedi, and anytime their Malzar wanted to suck me into oblivion, he fell to the guise of a lady named Liandry. To be frank, this was getting embarrassing how badly I was smurfing in my own elo, but then we got double TP'd on and I was about to get hit with a Rift reality. See, if my own performance would have been this dominant in say another game that I also conveniently can play on my phone, the game itself would reward me with progress, achievements, loot, all things that keep me in a safe place on the tilt timeline. But if we back up here, we see that 9 minutes into the game my top laner was already saying GG. This means that not only was he spoon feeding Sweeney Todd's daughter, she was snowballing off of the rest of my team now too. In classic League of Legends fashion, the mental booms and the toxicity started peeping its ugly head out from under the covers, which means my insane 7-0 start was about to not matter because one player was soft inting, The other was hard flaming, and no one could do anything, so once this match turned into a team game outside of my lane, it stopped feeling good and I lost again. In just over an hour I moved to here, dangerously close to the verbal harassment zone that many players reach and can be summarized by threats or sending deplorable messages to your teammates. Before the game even begins, we've all been there. But this is where my strategy to recover from this comes in, aka how to enjoy League when this happens, and I would like to call it the palate cleanser effect. I got this idea from a channel Harold_NA who makes insanely underrated content that reminds me of a 2019 version of myself before I got jaded by the League content meta and sold my soul to sponsors, except his content is actually good, but he argued that the best way to fix your mental is to play something that you know will suck, like AP Jin. Because if it's good, it's a surprise but there's no expectation, then it makes going back to a real pick feel amazing again. Well, I did this and it just resulted in me getting absolutely humiliated and reported by my entire team. So then I thought I will use ARAM as the palate cleanser, only to get Garen have no one trade with me and have to play a melee champ for 20 minutes in a game where there was still toxicity, because this is still League and we still lost because again, this is still League. I was reaching dangerous territories and I needed to find my palate cleanser. Touching grass was an option, but that requires physical effort and the tutorials can be confusing for a gamer. Then there's creating a new character in hardcore WoW, but that's actually fun and will cause me to just quit League entirely. I needed a palate cleanser that the world has this preconceived notion will suck, without ever trying it. Something the average brainrot person is turned off by even if they haven't played it. Something that's completely free, and easy to get started. So easy that new players literally get free stuff to help them get started faster. Imagine needing a palate cleanser from 3 terrible tilting League games and having a game where using my link gets you an epic champ right away and a butt ton of rewards right off the bat. Then it gets even better, because every time you need to take a bite of this palate cleanser you will get closer to level 15, where that same link gets you an even stronger epic champ. Playing Wukong isn't a palate cleanser in League of Legends, but using this Monkey King promo code to unlock legendary Sun Wukong here will absolutely halt anyone on the tilt timeline. This guy has buff stealing abilities and he ignores defenses with a self-revive, which will be slowly reviving your own mental. This is the perfect palate cleanser for League, because people think they will hate but then they realize all the reward systems they wanted earlier are offered here. This is the fried banana to eat in between courses at a Brazilian steakhouse. Soon enough you will be refreshed back at the first stop in Tilt Town, and you know what an untilted player does? Tilts the absolute hell out of others, and they are dumbasses, so they will just get out of one-time hostage and queue up again, but what they could be doing is taking a quick break to slurp some free dopamine from this game that has so many small ways to distract and to tilt you before your next queue. Look at the shard system for example. Even if you just need a 2-minute palate cleanser, you can open a few shards to unlock new champs, ranging from the worst quality of green shards, which in this case gave me 1 ID Willy useless sack of crap common archer with trash stats, but then if you need a little more dopamine you could open up one of the more rare ones. Here you see with a purple boy I copped me a rare as hell tank with WoW Alliance themed graffiti on his transmog and a full kit of defensive and tank skills to throw in as the front line of a roster. And for the situations where I'm dangerously close to the verbal harassment zone I pop a legendary. These are instant to tilter, as you can see here. I got the Mr. Malformed, the guy who Frankenstein's girl told him not to worry about. If you look at his abilities you can see just how deep the game goes, as having him in a lineup instantly makes your entire team so much harder to kill, so you already know Burgoth and his chemical stench will be making an appearance in my games, and my teams. But yeah, League of Legends has zero reward system for me logging in each day and losing games, but this game has given me a reward each day for the last 90 just for using it as my palate cleanser. It has more depth through its campaign and dungeons than you'd ever realize, with social elements like clans. #Rav's clan is recruiting, but you are never punished for having teammates that just give up. So in summary, the next time too much of this has you way far on the tilt timeline and you need a quick palate cleanser that you can do from your desk or bed or toilet without having to go outside, give the game that you expect nothing from a try, because it's free. They will shove so much free shit and rewards down your throat as a way of appreciating you trying it. Even old players who stopped or deleted the game are being welcomed back with the second link in the description just for you, which gives returning players a bonus pack featuring Champ Tagore just for anyone who has played before and is returning on a mobile device. So with that, you might just be surprised at how effective none other than Raid Shadow Legends is at helping you enjoy video games again and resetting you on your own personal tilt timeline. But you must use my link if you do. Rav out.